Hello everyone, my name is mandilynn. I am the author of the young adult novel Essence, and today we're going to be talking about taking criticism, maybe not constructively, but just taking it all in and trying really hard not to let it bother you. I'm almost 100% positive I have done a video on this subject before, but I figure as writers, we all need to be reminded of this a lot because you can talk the talk, but it's really hard to walk the walk. I think I'm making this video more for myself right now than anybody else, but I have, over the past almost 2 years now since Essence has come out, gotten some really good reviews and some not so really good reviews. A 5-star review is great, and it's amazing to read them and to gush over them, but if you ever get a really low review, those are the ones that stick out. It doesn't matter if there's only one star review in like a million 5-star reviews. That 1-star review is going to bother you a whole lot. It's going to be really hard to ignore it. There are a few things you can do. You can either completely ignore it and not read it, but if you're like me, you're really bad at that and you read it because you have a curiosity and you want to see what the heck, why they hate it so much. So I personally, I read them. Is that good for my mental state of mind? No, not really, because it kind of affects me a lot. But you have to realize you're not going to please everybody, no matter how good a novel is. If you look at the best-selling novels, they still have a whole bunch of bad reviews. And if you don't have a bad review on something you've written, that means you probably haven't reached a huge amount of people. Because I guess something to keep in mind is that if you get bigger and bigger, you're going to have a lot more followers, but the more followers you have, the more haters you have, and it's one of those sacrifices you make as a person. Some people are just going to be rude. No matter how good your writing is, it's going to be awful to someone else. And you have to realize that you can't take that personally. Although some reviews are going to be constructive, they might actually point out like, oh, this is why I didn't like it. And that might be something you want to keep in mind when you write future things because you may agree with it or you may not. In essence, I realized it's not a perfect novel. I started writing it when I was 13, so obviously it's not going to be perfect. I rewrote it 10 times, so I'd like to think it's pretty good at this point, but I still look back at it and there are parts that bother me, so if it bothers me, it probably bothers other people. But as a writer, I am never going to be 100% happy with what I write, so I just make it the best I can before I publish it. For me, Essence is a very personal story. There are parts of myself that I can see very clearly within it. So when I read a review that kind of critiques Essence in a way, it almost feels like they're critiquing me because they're like, oh, why is it like this? And I'm like, well, I'm like that, so why do you care? So it's really hard not to take some critiques and reviews personally because Essence is such a personal thing for me, and my second novel, I Am Mercy, is even more personal, so it's really hard to not take bad reviews to heart, but you have to realize, sit back and be like, okay, I'm not going to please everyone, I shouldn't let this bother me. There are going to be other reviewers out there who are just going to be completely rude and just don't like you as a person or the book as a whole, and they're going to be completely rude and not say why they don't like it, and they're just going to ruin your day, and you have to ignore them and realize that they don't matter. And the only reviews that do matter are the lovely 5-star reviews. So if you get a bad review, ignore it and just look at the good reviews. But the biggest thing in writing is that you just have to remember to write for yourself, not other people. If it's a good book to you, it's a good book to other people. And don't worry about the people who are just gonna crap on your life. But that was my 2 cents on the subject of criticism and getting bad reviews. If you guys have had any situations or have advice, please share down below. I'm sure we've all had something. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe.